Find the linear approximation of the function f of x, which is equal to the square root of 1 minus x at a is equal to 0, and use it to approximate the numbers the square root of 0.9 and square root of 0.99, and then illustrate by graphing f and the tangent line. So first thing is we're going to write out the linearization form. So L of x is going to equal, the value of a is 0, so it's going to be f of 0 plus f prime of 0 times x minus 0. So now what we want to do is we want to take the function, which is f of x, which is equal to the square root of 1 minus x. Okay, we can also rewrite this as 1 minus x to the power of 1/2. So now we can find a derivative of that function, and the derivative is going to be 1/2 times x, 1/2 times 1 minus x to the negative 1/2, and then we're also multiplying it by the derivative of what's inside. The derivative of negative x is negative 1. So if we wanted to simplify this a little further, it's going to be negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. So now we want to find f of 0. So if we plug f of 0, the square root of 1 minus 0 is the square root of 1, which gives us 1. And then if we want to find f prime of 0, then we know that that's going to equal negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus 0. Well, that's going to be negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 1, which is 1. So that's negative 1/2. So now we want to find the linearization. So using number 1, we have L of x, which is equal to f of 0 plus f prime of 0 times x minus 0. So we know f of 0 gave us 1, plus we know that f prime of 0 was negative 1/2 times x minus 0, which is x. So therefore, L of x is going to equal negative 1/2 x plus 1. And so therefore, there is our linearization. So we want to use to approximate the number 0.9. Well, 0.9, if we take a look at 0.9, which is the square root of 0.9, okay, is the same thing as taking the value of 1 and then subtracting 0.1. So what we want to do is we want to find L of 0.1 and plug it into our rate of change. So negative 1/2 times 0.1 plus 1 is going to give us 0.95. Okay, and then if we take a look at the square root of 0.99, well, that's equal to 1 minus 0.01. So now we want to find L of 0.01, and that's going to equal negative 1/2 times 0.01 plus 1, and that gives us 0.995. And now we want to illustrate by graphing f and the tangent line. So let's go ahead and graph that. So the first line that we're going to graph the function that was given to us, which is the square root of 1 minus x. And then we're going to graph the derivative function, which is 1 minus 1/2 x. Okay, so let's take a look at this a little bit closer. So we'll go from negative 4 to 4. and -1 to, let's say, 4. So let's take a look and see what's going on here on our graph. So we can see that this represents the function y, which is equal to the square root of 1 minus x. And the blue represents the linearization function, which is -1/2 x plus 1.